All right, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
For those of you who don't know me, which I don't think there's anyone in here that does, but for our viewers, my name is Julia Prater, and I'm a member of this congregation. About a month ago, I felt compelled to do something I generally actively avoid. Get in front of a group of people and talk for longer than a few words. But throughout my life, I have learned to follow my intuition. So here I am. Following intuition and kind of reading the signs and going with the flow, it's been an ongoing lesson in my life. And finding kind of like the balance between the spiritual and the mundane has been a running theme. I'm not the general you in the fact that I haven't grown up in like a fundamentalist or ultra-conservative kind of household. I actually was exposed to a variety of beliefs at a young age. We visited a lot of different churches. Granted, we were living in the South, so most of them are Christian. But I went to a Pentecostal church and went to Presbyterian, just kind of got a variety. And then we moved to Canada when I was 14. And up there, I discovered a Spiritualist church. And I found out that my mom, my grandmother was a Spiritualist minister. And that's how my mom grew up. And she was taught, to talk to spirit, that, the universe is a lot more than just what we see. It's also, the unseen that's around us. And while I was younger, it was difficult to kind of explain the things that I was worried about or whatnot, because, no one else I knew could see the things that I seen or could know the things I knew. So it was a frightening time, and I had a lot of fears and a lot of that kind of stuff when I was younger. But when we moved to Canada, like, there's all these people that kind of have the same experience, the same kind of background, and understood. So I had found a home. I had found a balanced point in life where everything wasn't topsy-turvy, and that I could just breathe and be and not have to worry about everything else. And I kind of refer to this time as my spiritual boot camp, because I did a lot of classes and with rocks and the crystals and whatnot, and did a lot of aura reading and the kind of new agey kind of stuff, but in kind of a church based, it's hard to explain, but how their normal services are. It's very similar to ours. They have meditation, but along with that, they also have chairs set off to the side for people to run energy if you wanted to come and get an energy healing. There's Reiki practitioners. I took my Reiki 1 and 2 attunements down there, and I got more involved in energy work itself, and it helped balance me a lot. And the fact that I can understand better the energy flow, and also with how just the seasons themselves kind of mirror how we feel, and then we have this abundant time, and then things kind of slow down, and we kind of have a time of rest, a time to kind of let everything kind of sink in, and a quiet time to reflect. And then the abundance comes back, and the light, and just kind of turning the wheel. When we moved back to the South, we moved back to Nashville, actually, and I didn't have anything like I had up in Canada with the meditation circles and all of that. It's a lot more hush-hush down here. So I found a couple of pagan groups, and while I have more of a more Native American kind of look as far as like the Great Spirit, like I acknowledge the goddess and the god, but feel like spirit is kind of the universe itself, like we're a part of it, it's a part of us, and then just kind of
You got this.
So where am I going with all this? Basically, I've learned to kind of read the signs and to follow the way the life goes as far as the flow of things, and there's up times and there's down times. I went through a really rough time when my mom passed away. The last 5 years of her life were a downhill spiral, and as spiritual I was before, that's how angry I was afterwards, because, you know, if I'm this channeler of healing energy, why can't I help her? Why couldn't I, you know, it was a really rough time, and I got away from everything. I went completely from being balanced to being so off kilter. It took me a long time to find myself again. What helped that was we found a UU church in Nashville. Will had actually found it through a theater project, and it was a saving grace, because they didn't, you know, teach that this is how you do it, and they're like, no, this is a path where you can find your own way. This is, you know, a forum where you can question as much as you want and have the support and the love, and I'm very glad that I found it here as well. So like I said, we've had a pretty rough time of it, but as with closing of winter, so comes the spring, because everything ends up balancing itself back out. This spring equinox is actually a pretty special one. It's on Friday the 20th, and not only is it the equinox, but there's also a solar eclipse. Unfortunately, it can be seen in like the Netherlands. I mean, they're gonna have, like, it's a total solar eclipse, so they're gonna have like 2 minutes of darkness in the daylight. It's really cool, but for us it's about 4:30 in the morning is when this is happening. But as far as the springtime, it's a time of renewal, not just of, you know, all the plant life and the warmth and the trees and everything. It's also a renewal of spirit, because you can be out in the sunlight and not have to be hidden away, huddled up under blankets, you know, inside anymore. And daffodils are the harbinger of spring, and we have some lovely flowers right there. Just a reminder that, you know, times can be very, very dark, but the light will come. So I'm just following my intuitions, and I'm glad that it led me here.